Hello everybody, Meglos Games here, and welcome to another speed build. This is speed build number 34? Please tell me it's 34. I think it's 34. I'm almost certain it's 34. And this is a little build that I am doing in Aluna Island. It's not the one, sadly, that you saw on James's Twitter a while back before the WoW was released, sadly, because the video files for that got completely lost. But don't you worry, you should be seeing that soon anyway. Not only is it in my world in my Let's Play, but I did get a cheeky ask from Deligracy to ask me if she could use it in her Let's Play, so you may be seeing it then. This is a house, another cliff house though, not quite in the same way. It's not like built into the cliff, it's kind of just built above the cliff, and it incorporates a lot of split levels, quite annoyingly, as you can see there. It hasn't got a name yet. I'm bad at names, as we all have agreed. Probably should have thought of some beforehand, but yeah, this was fun. Doing every single layer and leveling out everything 5 times, because I did the whole of the bottom level, like the full 16 height was built up of 4 floors, and then I had a floor on top of that, and it was a nightmare. If I'd have made the house bigger, I probably would have incorporated a few more like split levels in to use up all the 4 things more effectively, but it works well for windows and such, so I kept it. Plus it would be too much effort to kind of get rid of it. But I just kind of had this idea for messing around with all these split levels, and I actually built a house very, very similar to this in a Google Hangout I was in. It's a couple weeks ago now, actually, which involved Sims Galore, Sims Network, SimCookie, and Simlinks, and Beyond Sims ended up showing up too. That was fun. And yeah, I was building something very, very similar to this, but I never finished it, and it was looking really awesome, so I was like, I'm going to start it completely all over again and just record it, because I didn't get to record it when I was doing it in the Google Hangout, because Google Hangout was using my screen. But yeah, the windows from Into the Future works so well with this, which is why I've got so many windows everywhere. But yeah, I thought they looked really cool. The original house that I did toyed around with some kind of more boxy kind of shapes, but that was a nightmare, and I thought this worked pretty much as effectively, but slightly less effort, which is nice. But yeah, I'm just adding in windows and stuff. I like the way I did that window set at the front in the end with just the strips rather than the big ones above it. They actually work quite well with stuff like in the kitchens and stuff. Works pretty nicely. It's quite annoying if you want like a big view out of the window, but it does give you a sense of privacy somewhat, because the big glass panes are high up on the walls, so they're a lot harder to see, I guess. And we just got the thinner windows that are around the bottom floors. But yeah, the words, I'm saying words again. I was just saying how the wallpaper in this is like paneling at the bottom just to get rid of the warping of the walls and such. I have to put it full height on some walls just to, like I say, get rid of all the warping. You'll see that a lot in the bathroom as well. It took me forever to sort out the warping on that. And above it we've just kind of got like a light rock thing going on. I'm not sure about this colour scheme now that I look at it after I finish building it, but Oh, it's too late now, really. Oh, I spent forever just trying to get that one little tiny thin wall bit. It was annoying. And I went for a normal kind of roof because I wasn't going to be able to do any kind of layering of roofs using CFE because I'd already reached my height with walls and stuff, so that was not fun. I then went in, and this is me just neatening everything up, making the columns wood and changing the base of the walls there into wood as well, just to make everything continuity and whatever. That made no sense in any form of grammar whatsoever. Just darkening up the windows to add a bit of contrast. There's a lot of windows. I should always pick a design for a window off before putting them all in, but I never do because I'm an idiot. And so yeah, decided to stick a few more windows in, get a nice view of the beach. It's actually a really nice view of the beach. If you have a look in the pictures later on, it actually looks pretty darn cool. Just adding in cheats. This split levels require a lot of by debug lights, mainly because if you want them to look any good, you've got to get so many layers of lighting, because if you forget to do lights in one floor, you'll get this dark strip across a wall and what have you, and it just never turns out quite right. So you have to put about 10 layers of lights in just to make things look nice, and it's a pain in the arse if you ask me, and it's also annoying when you try and furnish. And if you were to remodel this house, you'd probably get just as annoyed as I did. I went for a nice stone texture on the inside here. It kind of gets warmed up by some rugs and stuff to make it more homey, but since we were going with quite an open plan living space with just like a broken up bit for the kitchen, it felt right to kind of keep this level of continuity through the whole room, so to speak. The kitchen actually turned out pretty nicely. I really like this kitchen. I like the dining tables that I kind of joined together. I love these dining tables anyway because they have that little plant in the bottom. These are favourites of mine. And then the chairs also I enjoy a lot. The chairs that I use came from Diesel stuff, and they work so nicely. They're really awesome, and I've been using them a lot in my builds since I started, like, since I got Diesel stuff, really. And then I went and decorated the thing with some sushi, because why not? And then added like a little plant. Tried not to overpower it with plants, because obviously there was plants in the bases of the tables, but yeah. And then there was like a big area of space above the counters, that's the word, counters, and I was trying to find paintings to fit above there, and that's where the blue kind of colour scheme that we go for on the inside really came from. I find the inside is very bright in comparison to the outside, but I don't know, this is why I kind of am toying with the thought of the outside colour scheme right now and thinking, but nonetheless it's done now and I'm making the video and I don't really have much time to change it because it is Friday night and this goes up on Saturday. Doing the old shelf breakfast bar type thing again. Thank you again, Deligracy, for that one. I keep doing it, annoyingly. Well, it's not really annoying because it looks awesome, but I will get about 1 million comments going, oh, you copied that off Deligracy. It's like, we're a community, we like to share ideas, and if somebody gets like inspired by our ideas, then wouldn't you like to be humbled by it rather than like be all like whatever. I feel like in the Sims community, because the game is so creative, you can't really always have your own original ideas in a way. There's always going to be some like overlap in creative ideas. It's just the way it goes, because that's just the nature of the game. So I just wanted to say that and justify my choices in my game, I guess. Plus it gave me something to talk about for a couple of minutes. Always good. Now these sofas come from the store. I actually amazingly did not use any store content windows and doors this time, which is fantastic. But I did, however, use store content that sushi sculpture is store content, as are these sofas. And the shower I use is also store content, but I believe that's as far as it goes. I like this living area. I like the fact that I use the shelves from University Life to make like little tables and stuff. And then I kind of toyed with this idea of like stacking pictures like across all these walls, which turned out quite nicely actually. So yeah, and then we kind of just move around, add a bit of deco to things, you know, gotta get a little tissue box in there somewhere, they always go in there. Now, these bookcases, I love these bookcases, they're double layer, so they went to the full height of the house, which worked really, really nicely. It would be nice to have a similar type of thing in more of a traditional looking bookcase, or at least just like a regular type of bookcase that doesn't look quite so futuristic. Just kind of adding in this little study area with a little thing go everywhere, and then I added that little plant in underneath that thing, which I thought looked quite cool, and then kind of adding a bit more of the turquoise to the colour scheme, waiting for CFE to just be a thing. But yeah, I've been adding a lot of the turquoise to the thing. I think it worked quite nicely. So yeah, and then I kind of changed the colour of those bookcases slightly to fit with the more of the greeny blue than the purpley blue that we just saw from the original default kind of thing. And I noticed that the grass rug can be ungrassified, which I thought was quite cool. And I was playing around with it for a while and then I got rid of it. I think I'm slightly behind on this video because the preview that I'm watching is kind of jump cutty because it's not actually been rendered yet. This is just me looking at it in Premiere Pro, so it does that bit. Just making sure that it actually is in the right place. I think we've just moved on to the bathroom now. Yep. Added in those tiles. I love big tiles just in general. Big tiles win. I like the ones in Nightlife as well. They work really well. And I was going to put that big bathtub in, but then I wanted to toy around with the idea of using like a half wall type thing in this room. It's actually a 3/4 height wall, which is enough to fit any sim in, really, to be quite honest. And then I added the shower in, just checked that it fitted nicely, because sometimes they're a bit funny about that. And then I got counters. I love counters just in general. You'll see I use some counters in a nice inventive little way in the bedroom as well a little later. And then we've got a plant, just basic kind of bathroom stuff really. I did add a couple of shelves in as well, like above the mirror that's just gone in. My thing's completely frozen, my preview thing, but here's the shelf, I think, if it's actually keeping up. But yeah, I just stuck some random bottles on the top of that when I was done. The wallpaper for this room was probably the most nightmarish because there are certain bits that I wanted to incorporate tiles in there, and I wanted to also incorporate the panelling that I had going on with the rest of the house. So yeah, but then I had to do a plain wall, well, 2 walls in the end because of the warping from the door and stuff. So yeah, that was most fun. And now we're moving on to the bedroom. I'm using that diesel stuff bed again. I don't know why, I just like it. It's quite stylized. It's quite cool in a way. Put the end tables at a nice little angle. Hopefully your Sims will be able to fit in there. Still, they should do. It's not out of the ordinary. And just added in that flag above the bed. You'll understand why I've put it there in just a second. I will change the colour of it so it doesn't look quite so obtrusive and stripy in a moment as well. As you can see here, just adding in the black sort of colour. I realised that I'd totally been doing the rug over there rather than changing the colours of the thing I was doing, but yeah, change that to black, and then we get this canopy going over the top, so we have like this real kind of drape thing going on. That was also inspired by the build that Deligracy did with me. I love being inspired by stuff. I always love getting new ideas. I've actually been inspired by some other builders and simmers this week anyway, so that's quite fun. And now we're going into doing the inside. We use the same sort of paneling, but it's like painted panels inside, and we use this teal colour, and I don't feel like it's too obtrusive because of the tiles we've got going on. Like, not the tiles, the stonework we've got on the floor. So that's why I trusted my heart and went with the bright paneling everywhere. I thought it looked cool anyway. Now, I had to meddle around with warping for ages, which just wasn't fun, if you ask me. And then I realised that there was that side as well that wanted to be warped. Basically, I wanted the paneling on the top, and I wanted the tiles at the bottom, like a splashback, but I couldn't do it with the warped walls at all, which sucked. And then I was trying to incorporate more lights into that area so I didn't have that annoying dark bit, and it totally didn't change a thing, which is a pain. Hated it. And then I changed the floor there, went for a darker kind of grey to fit in with the room a bit more, and then we go into like this dressing area, which works out really nicely. I stick these outdoor living stuff counters in, and then use the high and loft stuff dresser to kind of lodge into them somewhat, as you will see in just a moment. It works really, really nicely because I kind of incorporate the colours of the counters into the dresser as well. And then I stick a couch and some mirrors in the middle along with a plant. I actually stick plants on top of the counters as well using constraint floor elevation once again. So yeah, I really have been playing around with stuff quite a bit recently, and it's been fun kind of experimenting with objects and stuff. I feel like my interior design is kind of getting there for once. I think in this build the exterior kind of took a back seat for a while, and the interior kind of shone more so than the outside, which was fun because that never really happens in my houses. So it's fun to kind of let the interior take centre stage. And now I'm just, basic terrain painting, making sure everything's nice and neat, making sure everything's consistently painted, all the goodness, all the boring stuff. We're coming up to the end of the build right now. So yeah, just adding a tree, and then the photos will be up very shortly. This lot will be up on James's site as well as on the exchange, obviously. So if you want to download it, stick it in your world, it will say on the thing what number, blah blah blah. You know how it is. You know what The Sims is like. But anyways, I will see you in the next speed build, I guess. And of course, thank you for watching. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all the support I've got this week. So yeah, I will see you next time.